guys, it's Anisul-tan Hacker here, and today we're going to be creating this pallet lamp. Now, I actually like this pallet lamp because it has that kind of rustic feel to it. And also I want to mention that we are so close to reaching our goal of 200 subscribers. So if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can enter the giveaway. Let's begin with the video. To begin with this process, I went to my pallet wood collection and I cut out 5 planks from the pallet wood. Cut those into small pieces. Now in this diagram, as you can see, I cut out 16 pieces for the sides as well as 4 other pieces for the sides that are going to be along the base. Now the measurements are here where the base sides are 8.5 inches by 4 inches, while the sides that are going to be on the top part of the lamp is 8.5 inches by 2 inches. All I did to make the sides is that I cut the wide planks in half. Now for the base, which is 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches, I used a 1/2 inch thick piece of plywood. Also, for the ends of the sides as well as the base sides, I cut it at a 45-degree angle, making the measurement of each plank 10 inches. Next, I made an outline for the light switch on one of the base sides. Now this base side is going to face towards the rear, so the cutout does not have to be pretty. Plus, you can also put a cover over the light switch so that it can cover up any imperfections. After doing so, I started working on the base piece, which was 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches, 1/2 inch thick piece of plywood. Now, as you can see in the back of the light switch, there's 2 positive terminals and 2 negative terminals. Not negative, my bad, neutral terminals. Now the neutral terminals are going to be silver, and while the positive ones are gold. Now the lamp holder does not sit flush with the plywood, so you're going to have to make a cutout. The cutout is going to be 1 inch in diameter for each terminal, as you can see here. After doing so, you're going to want to assemble the base. Which was 4 inches by 8.5 inches. You're going to want to put it together, making it look like a frame, which is a square, and then you're going to want to put in the base. Cut my piece of plywood too short. I secured the base with some nails. Now these nails were just 1 inch, they weren't fancy, I just had it in my toolbox. You're going to want to take 4 planks of your 16 planks that you made for your sides, and you're going to want to assemble it in a box like how I did so. Now I'm going to be assembling them together with some wood glue, or in this case I didn't really have wood glue, so I secured it with hot glue gun. This isn't the best alternative, but it worked for this project. And I'm also using these rustic nails. They're brown, so it's gonna camouflage into the wood grain a lot easier. I have all 5 frames. Now the bottom base has the 8.5 inch by 8.5 inch piece of plywood, while the rest are just empty frames that are 8.5 inches by 2 inches each plank, or each side, whatever you want to call it. I secured it tightly with the rustic nails, as I said it before. I was originally going to use these dowel rods that I took apart from the hanger video. I'm going to leave a description below where I used the hanger. I made an airplane in my first video for YouTube, but I found out that the hole that I drilled into each frame, which was 5/16, I believe, and the dowels did not fit into those holes. So the best alternative was either going to Home Depot and buying those dowel rods, or I could just simply use wooden pencils, which no one uses these days. So I thought might as well use them for this project. Now what I did for each pencil was, originally it was black, but I sanded it down to expose the wood grain so that the color can show when I stain it. Inserted a squirt of hot glue into each of the holes, and then I put the dowel rods or the pencils into the holes. Whatever one you're using, this method should work. After securing it tightly and making sure that it did not pop out, I inserted the next frame, and the holes had to match up. I used this piece of pallet wood to use as a spacer, which was about 1/2 inch. So there was a 1/2 inch gap between each of the 5 frames. In between each frame, I used hot glue, as I said before, in order to secure it. Now, after putting together the frames, I painted it with some clear polyurethane. Now, for the wiring, it's pretty simple. I drilled a 1/4 inch hole into the back of the rear frame, which was the same side that the light switch is going to be on. We got this wire from a wire extension, and I basically just cut off the female ends with the wire stripper. And I also split the two wires apart. I cut the positive wire, which is also the same side that the thicker prong is going to be on. I stripped the wire end for that, and I cut that wire in half, as you can see. Therefore, the positive wire is a lot shorter than the neutral wire. I also, in order to make life easier, I colored the positive wire with a green marker just to label it and distinguish it between the two different wires. I took the wire switch. As you can see, it's a 2-toggle switch, which means that only one wire can be attached to it. The screws are gold, which means that the positive wire is going to have to be attached to this light switch. You could also use the neutral switch. I decided to go with the positive wire. I connected one end of the positive wire to the light switch, and the other piece of wire that I cut short, which was about 4 inches, I believe, I cut that, and I also attached it to the other gold screw. After tightening all of those screws, I simply took my lamp holder and I secured the lamp holder into the base using these screws. And on the bottom of the screws, I used some of these nuts. And now these nuts, they actually secured it, but if you secured your lamp holder really tightly with these nuts, it is going to crack the porcelain. Finally, I secured the wires on the toggle switch with some electrical tape. I screwed in the light switch with some screws that I found in my toolbox. It wasn't fancy. It worked for the project. Finally, after securing both the light switch and the lamp holder, it was finally time to connect all of the wires to the lamp holder. As I said before, the positive wire goes to the gold screws on the lamp holder, and you're just going to want to tighten the screws by going in a clockwise motion. The neutral wires go on the silver screws and go in a clockwise motion when screwing or securing the screws. As you guys can see, to make this pallet lamp, it was pretty simple. It was kind of tedious, I'll admit that, but in the end, it turned out pretty nice. If you aren't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what type of video you want to see next. A DIY video, how to, what type of life hack videos I should do next. I'll see you guys on the next Ultimate Sunday.